to another video, and guys, like the video, give a big thumbs up, new channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on my next DC Comics video. I go over different storylines, different news on DC Comics, and guys, make sure to follow the Twitter and my Instagram. It's in the description below. Right now I'm like reviewing Aquaman Deep Dive. We have Batman Gotham Knights, which those are really good. I'm really enjoying them, but they're too short to make a video on, so I put all my reviews on my Twitter and Instagram, so go check those out. But for today, guys, this will be a pretty quick video. I'm just going to review Gotham High. Alright, so this came out like a couple weeks ago, I think, and I didn't really care about it. I just saw like the trailer. It was pretty much a whole love triangle, like teenage drama where Batman and Joker are at the same school, and we have Catwoman and Joker. It's actually not Joker, it's just Jack Napier, and pretty much they're both fighting for Selina because Selina likes them both, and it's like a love triangle type thing. So I was like, I'm not going to check this out. But there was a lot of people talking about it, and some other people like recommending it to me. They're like, hey, check it out. So I checked it out, right? And I'm not a big fan of it, right? I'm not gonna like pretty much tear it to pieces. Like there is certain stuff that I did like, but a lot of it was just, I was like, what? It didn't make sense, alright? But guys, first I'll start off with the positives. So the art was good. I really liked the art. The art really conveyed the storyline, and it actually made the flow go really well. I actually read the storyline in one sitting because I wasn't, like the art actually kept me intrigued, not really the story itself. I was like, man, I want to see more pages of this because the art's actually really good. And guys, there is some stuff that like, good action sequences, so that's good. But that's where it stops for me for the positives, alright? Like, honestly, like, yeah, there's an interesting, like, detective story that you could say, where Bruce is trying to figure out this whole, like, kidnapping situation where Harvey Dent gets kidnapped, Selina gets kidnapped, and Bruce, like, tries to track who it is. He thinks it's Jack Napier, and then we find out later who it is. And guys, actually, before I go on, this is a spoiler review. I haven't revealed any spoilers yet, but just in case you haven't read it, this is a spoiler, alright? But guys, the things that threw me off is, first off, the biggest one, Alfred is gay. Alright, like, this threw me off a little bit. Like, no matter your thoughts on the whole thing, it just threw me off. And he's from Hong Kong. And Bruce is from Hong Kong, too. So, Bruce was born in Hong Kong. His parents died in Hong Kong. And it wasn't by Crime Alley. Yeah, this is a totally different story, guys. So, pretty much you have Bruce in Hong Kong. His parents, one day, they're in the apartment. Thieves came in, killed his parents. He had to watch. Then he got taken in by his uncle, Alfred. Yeah, an uncle, not a butler. So, what? And then, so Alfred is pretty much Chinese. They take him to, he pretty much is watching over Bruce, and then Alfred has a husband, it's gay, and they really push that a little bit. Like, there's a whole page where they push that. I'm like, what? Why is this even included in here? And then there's another thing, guys. So then Dick Grayson. Let's talk about Dick Grayson in this. Yeah, alright. So, you know Dick Grayson, Nightwing right here. Like, you know him. Well, in this, he's a little black boy who gets, like, pretty much bullied by rich kids. Rich like, jocks. And I'm like, what? And Bruce saves him. That's all you see. He just gets bullied by these kids, and he's an outcast. I'm like, that is not Dick Grayson. Like, if you're gonna make him, if you're gonna race change him, at least make him kind of like the character, or actually like pretty much identical to the character. Like, give him some origin. No, this is a totally different character. It's like they had like a little black boy who got bullied by rich kids in the story, and like, what character from DC Comics can we take and pretty much give a name to this black boy? Let's give Dick Grayson. I'm like, what? And then, okay, let's talk about Barbara Gordon. Actually, first off, Principal Gordon. So, they changed Commissioner Gordon into a black female who's a principal now. And I'm like, alright, okay. I didn't have a real problem with that because, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the race change and, like, the whole gender change. But it didn't really stick out to me when I read it. I didn't even notice it was Commissioner Gordon, like it was related to Commissioner Gordon until the end of the book. But then her daughter, Barbara Gordon, is just a black female student at the school. Like, that's it. And guys, think about this. In the comics, Batgirl and Nightwing get together. Could you see this getting together with this? Can you see the Dick Grayson in this storyline getting together with the Barbara Gordon in this storyline? No. Like, yeah, I get there's both black and stuff, but one's a loser and one is like one of the most popular in the school. So, it doesn't really fit, alright? And then guys, the whole Selina, Jack Napier, Bruce, like, love triangle, whatever. I do not care about that. Like, you're a fan of love triangles and those storylines like Twilight and that stuff, then yeah, you'll like this. But if you're a Batman fan, and you want to see some cool stuff, cool detective story, like, yeah, there's some detective stuff, but it's really undermined by the whole love triangle storyline that they're trying to push. And guys, Jack Napier, he is not the Joker at all, alright? In this, all he is a stalker for Selina. Like, there's really a page at the beginning where you see back, he has all these photos of Selina, and I'm like, alright, like, maybe he's going down the deep end. Like, guys, think about this. I actually thought that, okay, maybe at the end, like, Selina betrays them, she pretty much, played both Bruce and Jack, and that's when he started going a little crazy. Maybe his mother died, maybe something bad happened to him that day, and it was that one bad day that pushed him to become Joker. That's actually a good story, but that's not what we got. What we got is he's a stalker for Selina, and has been friends with her for so long, gets played by her. He's pretty much like a simp. Like, he does all this stuff for her, and pays for stuff, helps her out with everything, and she just like pretty much plays him, kisses him a couple times. It's like, okay, like that's not Jack Napier, that's not the Joker. And then we got Bruce, who's pretty much like a loner. He's Chinese from Hong Kong. He comes here, he's rich, he pays for Selina's stuff, and again, he pretty much fights with Jack because they both want the same girl. And Bruce is trying to figure out all this investigation stuff, holds like a party, and there is some interesting stuff where it goes to like Bruce actually has a party, invites everybody, and then tracks everybody to figure out this like whole kidnapping situation. That's actually good. Like the kidnapping storyline, which is like barely in the book, is actually interesting, where the whole love triangle stuff and like changing these characters, that's in most of the book, and I don't like that. Like, that's dumb. I'm not a big fan of that, guys. And also, Selina, by the end of the book, spoiler alert, she is actually the one who caused all these kidnappings, set it up so she could get money to support her father. Her father can't remember anything, and actually by the end, her father starts remembering things, and Selina goes off on her own. But she played Bruce and Jack, and she leaves. That's it. And then she's like, oh, I'm coming back to Gotham High by the end of the book, and that's how it leaves it off. I'm like, really? Alright. And guys, the whole Selina and Bruce thing, pretty much they were friends when they were a child, like that girl next door type stuff. And then Bruce came back, they have a relationship, and then it all falls pretty much to the deep end. So that's what happens in this book, and I just wasn't intrigued by it. I was like, who cares about this whole love triangle? I want to be more invested in the whole kidnapping storyline with like Harvey Dent than this. And guys, Harvey in this thing, like Two-Face pretty much, he's not the greatest. Like, they changed him a little bit, but he's not changed so much that I'm irritated by it. I'm like, okay, I can accept this, it's fine. But when you change these other characters, it just like turns me off from the book. Like when I found the page where Alfred's gay, I shut the book for a little bit. I was like, bruh, like really? Are you serious? And then Selina, like she pretty much, it's pretty much a Selina story. She narrates the whole thing. It's not a Batman story. Like really? Like I really wish, I'm not saying give Bruce the bat costume, but maybe take from like Batman Year One, when he just has like not really a bat costume, but like a pretty much prototype suit, and he goes after villains, he goes on cases, instead of just wearing this fancy ass jacket and going after like this whole kidnapping case. Like really, they really depict Bruce as a rich guy in this who pretty much uses his money, goes after this, and doesn't really disguise himself. Like, you'd think he'd disguise himself. Like, Bruce in this isn't bad, but I don't like the whole thing that he's a loner. Like, really, Bruce is not a loner in the comics. He's actually very social. But he gets his way by being social. And in this, yeah, he's social, but it's because he's rich, not because he's good socializing. So I don't like that. And guys, Jack, like, I'd go on and on about Jack. Like, bruh, like, really, he gets played so much in this book. Like, Joker, like, he literally gets played so much, and he never becomes a Joker. Like, there's literally a part at the end where Selina plays him. She jumps off the building, and Jack starts fighting with Bruce. I'm like, why you guys fight each other? You guys both got played. Maybe you should work together. And they pretty much just have like a normal teenage scuffle where they just hate each other a bunch of times, and they're like, oh, we're friends, we're all good. I'm like, really? We don't even get like a Batman and Joker type fight? Like, I expect, okay, Joker to become full-on Joker and Bruce to become full-on Batman, but at least give something that I know, like, the writer actually knows what Batman is. From what this book is, I don't even think the writer has ever read a Batman comic, which I don't think she has, because in the interview, she was like, oh, this is a kid crusader you've never seen before. I'm like, yeah, this is just some teenage drama mixed in with all these characters, that's it. The only character that they may got right was Poison Ivy. Like, yeah, they don't give her an origin, they don't do the whole environmental thing, but at least she looks like Poison Ivy, and she deals with plants. So at least they kind of get that right, but that's the most you get, that's it. Everything else has changed so much that it's like, can I really accept reading this storyline? Like, really, that's my thoughts on it. And yeah, the biggest, like, the positives in this is the art and the kidnapping storyline, but that's really it. Everything else, like the changes, the love triangle, I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of it. But if you're a big fan of Twilight and those love triangle storylines, you'll like it. But if you're a big fan of Batman like me, you won't. Alright guys, so overall I'm going to give this Gotham High storyline a 5 out of 10. I didn't like it. I don't recommend it. Like, yeah guys, you have your own opinions. You check it out. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. You may like it. You may like it a lot. Like, you may say, hey, I thought this was a masterpiece. I thought this was amazing. But for me, I'm not a big fan of it because I know Batman can be treated better. Now, the thing that really helps us, though, is this is like an out-of-continuity storyline, so we won't expect to see Batman like this in continuity. So I'm fine with that. Imagine, guys, if this is actually in continuity. That would be bad, alright? Like, but it's out of continuity, that's good. Like, it's not like New Warriors in Marvel where it's actually in continuity. Like, that's bad. But with this, it at least is like, okay, I enjoy it, but I'm not expecting that Bruce is going to be like this, Selina's going to be like this, or Alfred's going to be gay in actually DC Comics continuity. I don't have to worry about that, which is good. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much my review. I hope you enjoyed it. I tried not to rant about anything that much. I just gave my thoughts about it. I wasn't a big fan of it. I was hoping you enjoyed it. Like, the first part of it, I was kind of like, oh, I'm a little intrigued. But as I got to like the second and third act, I just did not like it as we went, alright? And if they released like a Gotham High book 2, I'm not going to be excited for it. Like, I'm not looking forward to it at all. I may read it just for a review and if you guys recommend it. But for now, I'm not excited about this book. I don't know why DC made it. Like, okay, I get you trying to help with the whole younger audience thing. Like, oh, have younger adults, like, read DC Comics. But younger adults will read DC Comics if you give, like, good Batman comics. Like, guys, go check out the DC Digital Comics. Go check out Batman, James Tynion's series. Go check out Justice League, Flash. Check out those. Don't worry about this book. You won't like it. But you may, so tell me in the comments below what you guys thought. And if you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up, YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on my next DC Comics review. And yeah guys, that's the video, and peace out.